everyone. Welcome back to Stack, Sip, and Spill. I'm Reagan.
And I'm Cherie.
And welcome to episode 4.5, a bite-sized episode. Today we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about brace and teams. And the reason for that is Cherie gets to experience brace this weekend. Well, she would have experienced it before this episode goes out, so she's going to talk a little bit about her experience. But first, we're going to talk about what brace and team is, because some of you might not have heard of that before. But starting off, we need to discuss what we're sipping on tonight. Cherie, what are you sipping on?
I discovered ice wine when we were in Disney last time. They had it in the Canada Pavilion, and I never thought I'd find it because it's such a off-the-wall thing. And our local store had 2 different bottles of ice wine. So I'm enjoying this super tasty, high sugar content. It makes it, you sip it, it goes.
Yeah.
And it's not just me that does it, because everyone who tried the one from Canada went, oh.
That's
What
funny.
are you sipping on, Reagan?
I am sipping on, or have been sipping on, a mix of a drink, some limoncello, which matches with my Italian dog, limoncello with a cherry ginger ale. It's pretty good.
That's so lovely, like a
Yes.
pink lemonade ginger ale.
Yes, it's very refreshing. I didn't want anything too heavy, so
getting into spring.
Yeah, I'm so ready. I'm ready for warm weather, sunny weather, sun to set a little later. That'd be great.
Let's talk about brace, baby. Let's talk about two doggies. Let's talk about all the iggies and the doggies together showing. Let's talk about brace. Let's talk about brace. Let's talk about brace. Let's talk about brace.
So if you just heard our little song, or maybe not, Cherie and I just recorded something fun, and depending on how it sounds, if it sounds crazy, we may not put it in, but maybe it'll be a bonus.
Those of you who don't remember or recall, I am a musician. I'm a professional musician with this stupid, useless gift of being able to parody lyrics in the moment, match the syllables perfectly, and it rhymes. Unless you're Weird Al Yankovic, it's totally useless. So
I just go along.
Let's talk about brace, baby.
Let's talk about you.
And I thought she'd roll her eyes at me, and she was like, all in. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
It's the sip that's making me all.
Yes. I take it. My husband's actually very impressed by my useless skill, and I'm like, I can't make any money off of it because they're always stupid. Something like that. Like, who's gonna buy that?
I do it all the time with Barry. I'll just sing random stuff, and he thinks it's great. So, okay, let's talk about brace real quick. So if you haven't ever heard what brace is, I'm going to throw out a definition from AKC. So it's a little easier and I don't have to sit here and blabber the whole time. So a brace is defined as 2 dogs that are the same recognized breed, so Italian Greyhound for us, or a variety that are similar in appearance. They perform in unison and are presented by a maximum of 2 handlers. Both of these dogs competing in brace competition must have at least one common owner. So, Cherie this weekend participated in brace at the Pensacola shows. She entered Ben and Lucky together and showed them together. She put them on the table together. Did down
I like how we're doing this in past tense. It makes me feel like I'm going to be very successful. It actually
are. They're going to be fine.
Yes, she did it all, and it all went so well.
So as we're recording this, she has not yet done it. She has not shown brace, but this will go up after.
Keep manifesting it, Reagan.
We're manifesting best brace and specialty show or show. Is it all breed? Or is it this is a toy specialty?
Toy specialty. So
okay.
They are going to be brace, and then there's one long coat Chihuahua brace, and 1 Pomeranian brace. There are 24 Pomeranians in this specialty.
Now, let me tell you this.
Wait.
No pressure. No pressure. But if you go best brace and specialty show, you can put that at the front of their name on Breed Archive. Yeah.
I mean, I knew like best in specialty should BISS, but
Yeah. So if you see on our show notes down here, I put that on Kara Sue and Clipsy's name because that you can add that. You can add that to the front of their name on Breed Archive. If they go, theirs is multiple best brace and specialty show because they won
so it'd
multiple
be
times.
BBISS.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, how cool would that be?
Yeah. So, just letting you know. Anyway, moving on. So, brace. Cherie, talk to us about how you started practicing for brace, what you had to get. Walk us through the routine you've had to do with practicing.
Well, coming from my completely inexperienced experience, so I mean, obviously, this is still Ben's first legit show, and I've been working with him still. So Ben is very outgoing, and Lucky is very shy, which they've been walking together in stores and stuff anyways, just with 2 leads walking up close to each other because they are best buddies. So at handling practice each week, really it's only been like 2 times, maybe 3 times, and I didn't have the right equipment. So I was just 2 leads and trying to like shorten one up to be the same length and trying to get them working together. And I was working in the house, picking them up, putting them on the table together, which is not fun because their legs are so long. So you got to like flail them sideways. But luckily they trust me and they just squish up against each other. But mostly once I got the coupler, just like you would get a coupler just at PetSmart to turn 1 lead into 2. Then I got the little slip leads at the end of it, and I got a regular old Resco slip lead attached to the coupler, and that just kind of keeps them from wandering apart too much. And in handling class, our president, Mr. Charlie, really helped me out and we kind of decided that Ben on the outside, Lucky on the inside is what was working the best. So I just had to adjust on the down and back the turn. Really, I had to like slow and widen that turn a little bit so that Ben would continue to stay on the outside. And I kind of have to adjust how I set them up because, again, I set Ben on the outside, but it's the cutest thing. And Mr. Charlie went on and on about it. On the table when they're together, Ben is more still and more focused, and Lucky is more relaxed. They're very symbiotic, and it's the most symbiotic relationship. It's adorable. So I'm trying to be more aware of getting their silhouette lined up. So both their back feet in the same spot, both their front feet in the same spot, and just hope for the best. Getting them down together is actually really easy.
Yeah,
and then starting the down and back, that's a little tricky because that's when Ben wants to go, yeah, we're on the floor, my brother.
Yes. So normally with toy dogs or when they are being put on the table, you got to pick them up together, put them up there together, set them up together, take them down together. Everything's got to be in unison.
So I have a like from the audience perspective question, because I didn't know until you just said it, that whole like maximum of 2 handlers.
So
What?
Okay, so I'm not sure how often that gets played out because most of the time for brace, you want to be able to, and you'll see this in the pictures I'm going to include, or I should say we, because Cherie does most of the editing, all of the editing.
You're the researcher. I just put it together.
So I've got some pictures to include from a friend of mine, Michelle Paris. Thank you for letting us use them. And of course, we will have video footage of Cherie, hopefully, maybe. We'll see.
And we'll put in that video from the National that you sent to me too. That's a really
Okay.
good one.
In the picture that we will be hopefully including in the episode, maybe if you're watching online on YouTube, or we may post them on our Facebook group and or Instagram. My friend Michelle Paris from the Italian Greyhound Club of America National Specialty at Purina Farms in 2018 is Barry's Aunt Kara Sue and Kara Sue's daughter Clipsy. So if you had seen a story on our Instagram and guessed 2 Italian Greyhounds in the picture, you guessed right. There are 2 Italian Greyhounds in that picture. You can barely see, if you look at the show leads, you can see 2 show leads going down, and you can see actually 2 tails because one of the tails is up a little higher than the other. But they are moving so well in unison. Definitely did great with pairing those 2 together. Clipsy is so much like Kara Sue. But with the rule, or not really the rule, with the suggestion of presenting them with 2 handlers, you wouldn't be getting that same effect.
Yeah. So that leads me to my next question too. How do they judge brace? Is that part of it, of how like clean and concise they are, or are we looking just, and this is like legitimately me asking. So if we had the best 2 IGs, okay, let me try that again. So if we had the best 2 examples of our breed and they were better than the other examples of their individual breeds, that would not necessarily make them best brace if they were not similar to each other, correct?
Yes.
So were we looking at the close, most close in similar? This is where it gets weird.
So judges are obviously taking into account the standard.
Yeah.
But they're really looking at how closely these dogs are similar to each other. Because normally when you see brace, the dogs are going to be related to each other most of the time. Mother-daughter, father-daughter, whatever it may be. They're going to have similar markings, similar coloration, maybe similar.
We do have that in our favor. Same breeder. Yes. They're further off, related, but the coloring is really good.
Coloring, movement, all the comparisons between the 2 to see how alike they are.
Yeah.
Like I had entered brace a few years ago at the Nationals, ended up not being able to show at all. But for the 2 dogs that I had entered, they were boy and girl. They were related. They were siblings from 2 different litters, same parents, and they were both pied. Now, pied meaning mostly white with certain markings. They had red markings. And their spots and markings weren't exactly the same, but obviously their coloration was. So it still worked. So they're looking for that similar in appearance, performing in unison. The closer the 2, the better.
Okay, I got you.
They don't have to be exact copies of each other, but very similar, obviously. And they are looking at standard too. So
yeah. So I'm not going to make a prediction, but I would assume, especially with other breeders having both their dogs there will be some that are much closer, like litter mates or like direct one-off than Ben and Lucky are.
Yes.
Well, we'll see what happens. If nothing, they win the Italian Greyhound.
Yeah.
I can confirm that. They won the Italian Greyhound because they're the only ones.
Yes. Now, aside from brace, there's also something called team. Basically, same thing as a brace, except you're going to have 4 dogs that you're showing at one time.
Oh.
And it does say presented by maximum of 4 handlers, but when you
How?
present the dogs with multiple people, you're not getting that same effect as you would with one person showing all of those dogs. I have only seen a team being shown with whippets before.
Yeah, I was gonna say a floor breed. You have to. You can't.
Yes, you can. You can show a team
No, I'm
between.
saying like if you have your mind in the right place, you
Yeah,
can't make
yeah,
a floor up on a table.
yeah. It would
Or
be
a
a
ramp
lot
breed,
easier
maybe.
to show braces and teams with larger dogs because you would only have to stand them up and set them
Yeah.
up on the ground or a ramp. But there has been Italian Greyhound teams in the past. I asked our friends on Facebook that are in IGCA and have been in the breed for a long time, and they said yes, there have been teams. I have not been able to find video footage or pictures yet, but when I do, I would love to share them. So it is possible. I think it was
90s.
no, it was early 2000s because the specialty was in California, and I think there was one in Texas too, maybe a regional. So it wasn't too far back, but it was just enough far back to where I don't know if there are any pictures posted anywhere, any video footage posted. They used to record all of the shows, all the whole national, and sell the DVDs. But I haven't gotten my hands on one yet. I
You'd have
need
to turn
to.
this table sideways.
Yeah.
Put them all on there.
I know. Yeah.
That's funny.
But it would be really fun to see. Maybe in the future someone could do that. Maybe, well, you still have to, all the dogs in the team still have to be owned.
By the same, have one owner in common.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I was going to say you could do a litter if a breeder had owned
Yeah.
multiple.
Yeah, you could.
So I don't know. It'd be really fun.
Yeah. So next question from like a public's point of view. What's the point? Obviously, I'm doing it because it's fun. I have 2 dogs. They're fun. It's a fun thing for them to do together also. But why do we have brace and teams exist in conformation?
Short answer, to show consistency in a pedigree or in a line. To be able to say, this is what I'm producing. And obviously, it's sticking with my breeding program. I'm breeding
Yep.
these dogs, and they are consistently looking and moving the same towards the betterment of the breed.
So this is an aside, but we can get to this in more. How does that different from futurity and maturity? Is futurity and maturity just a more detailed version of that? Really?
So for futurity, you have to be a member of the club to show in that.
Okay.
That's all I know at this point because I haven't been able to partake in that yet.
No, I got you.
But I will.
Isn't that more like the direct descendants, like the parent, like the dog
Yeah.
get? Yeah. Okay.
So normally they like to do that before like a top 20 has taken place to kind of show continuation of like, this is what I'm producing.
Yeah.
It helps to do it in that order, but yeah.
We're just doing it for a cool ribbon, to be honest with you.
And to have fun. The dogs love it.
And it's another experience. Like Daniel always says, the more often we can get them in the ring, the better. Lucky goes in first at 9 a.m., then Ben goes in at 11, and then they do brace. So hopefully by 11 he'll have his energy out.
By the time I wake up in the morning, there will be news.
Yeah, we're done. We're on our way home now. We won best brace. Go on bed.
Now, but you're going to have to wait around to do best brace and show.
Well,
Groups.
Yeah. The past is now the past, and I can actually say We entered brace.
Yes.
This was not the fake, yeah, we're gonna have done it. So
You have done it already. What were your impressions about showing brace? What did you like about it? What would you change in the future when you go back in? Walk us through your experience.
I loved it. It was super fun. It was not nearly as intimidating as I thought. I mean, of course, we were the only brace in Italian Greyhound. So, okay. And brace was after the breed. So, I think the only people that watched us was Daniel. You know, because like as soon as best of breed's over, everybody runs off. So that's kind of a bummer. I mean, if it were me or you, I know we would stay and watch and be supportive,
Yeah.
but people have stuff they have to do. I get that. um I don't think it's any different than just having the prep for it doesn't feel any different. Oh, something I did find out after when I went to go back in for best brace, a lady was talking to me who does brace a lot, and she said when you pick your dogs up and place them on the table, you're actually supposed to place them facing the judge rather than facing to the side. Now, she had Pomeranians, so that's not a problem. They're small. But when I thought about it, I decided to go ahead and still have them facing sideways because they're long. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I've
If I
never
had
really seen
placed them
that.
up there facing the judge, their feet would be hanging off the back.
Yeah, I don't think that's true for all breeds. Like, you can do it with small dogs, but Italian Greyhounds, no, I've always seen it done the way you did
Yeah.
it. So, you're good.
But I mean, she was speaking from the Pomeranian perspective, and I was like, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't think it would work for us because they are so long that way.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun. I think it was less stressful. We had a great judge. He was very calm um and it was really cool because as he was examining them, he touched everything at the same time. Like if he ran his hand down their back, he did one hand on both dogs at the same time. So he was really, really comparing skeletal structure and tone and length in the loin or whatever at the exact same time. So that was pretty cool. I thought that was neat. He didn't stress too much about really seeing the bite. Granted, he had already seen Ben's bite, but I think they're aware that it's harder to, to handle two faces at the same time. So I went to do the bite with one hand, and he's like, "Got it." And I went to do the other bite. He's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Instead of like really trying to get in there, it was just enough to be able to tell. And it didn't seem to be as big of an issue after they're down and back. I was concerned that they would need to be like perfectly straight together. I don't think that mattered so much. I think they expect them to not want to end facing each
Yeah.
other. But I don't know, it was super fun. I thought it was super cute. They loved it. So,
Sounds like a good experience.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think I would change anything.
And now you are waiting for your rosette or ribbon to come in the mail, aren't you?
I know. So, ta-da! We won best brace in specialty show.
Yay!
Ta-da! And I'm thinking for some reason the ribbons weren't there any of the days,
Yeah.
which is again like it's like, oh, that's kind of depressing. So when we went back in to do our go around for best brace and specialty show, we did our little loop, and I went to put them on the table. The Ben was just he recognized the judge, and he was like, "Yeah, I remember." And he's just trying to kiss the judge, and the judge was laughing, and I was like, "Well, okay, that's we tried."
Mhm.
And I had to turn my name and address into the superintendent, which, like we've said before, superintendent is basically the organizer of the show, to mail us the ribbon in a week or so. So that was kind of a bummer. But hopefully it's a nice big rosette, like was for all the group and everything. It was isn't they were very pretty rosettes
Yeah.
if I get one.
Yeah, a lot of times, for those sorts of events at shows, they wait until later because most of the time, too, people just don't show up. They don't end up showing, and then they would have wasted that rosette having it ordered. So if you take a look at our Instagram, we are going to have a video posted with some examples of pictures of Brace from previous years, and then we're also going to include a little snippet video of Cherie with Ben and Lucky doing their Brace. So that'll be on there, so take a look at that, and then if you get a chance, try to do a little lookup. I'm going to see if I can find a link maybe, but this past week at Crufts in the UK, there was an Italian Greyhound team. So there was 4 Italian Greyhounds in the ring together. Of course, they were being shown by separate people, but it's still an Italian Greyhound team. So it was kind of interesting to watch. So if you get a chance to look that up and are able to find it, go ahead and share it with us. Share it on our Instagram. Say, hey, I found the link, because it's a pretty cool little video.
Not to mention that apparently this is a European or British thing where all of the breeds that had teams, the 4 handlers dressed alike.
And something else, if you get a chance to watch, I was watching some of the trick dog routines, and they were so cute because they go all out for the
Yes.
performances. I saw a great Afghan hound performance. It was so cute. They go all out.
And they film it so well at Crufts.
Yes.
And I love the announcers are like so funny about it. I love it. It's like a little bit of like more watching Best in Show with their announcers.
Mm-hmm.
If you are listening to this on YouTube, you should be watching because then I will also attach those clips. So that'll be a one-stop shop for you on YouTube.
And we hope you have enjoyed this episode. It was fun to make for us. We got to provide some different examples for y'all and pictures and videos. It was a little bit more immersive this episode. So I hope y'all enjoyed it, and maybe we can do something similar like this soon.
I hope you learned a little something. When you find a dog show near you, look for Brace class, especially if it says it's a specialty.
Yes. And I guess soon we'll be able to talk about veteran class because somebody is turning 7 this year. They're turning 7.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.
Bye.
In profile, to see the curving lines which are desirable in the Italian Greyhound. And now look front on, she's looking for this deep chest, narrow front and fine bone, and then she's moving them now. Watching them go away from her to see the soundness of the hind action.
And even though this is a team competition, Frank, it doesn't matter. The judge isn't looking for them to be moving in unison per se, is it? It's not about formation, but it is about the individual dogs.
It's not about choreography. It's about soundness and the correct movement for the breed. High stepping in the Italian Greyhounds, very important. And I think she'll send them round, which is very important. The curving lines of the breed, the slight rise over the loin, the fall away to the croup. There should be a series of curves, elegance, and look at the high stepping, very stylish movement on these dogs going in profile.
Joanne Amsel is the breeder at the Artmace Kennels and has been breeding pedigree dogs for some 50 years and has been coming to Crufts for the last 30 as well. So knows her way around the exhibition centre, that's for sure.